And here we go. For the first time at the WCS Korea, we have Shakura's Plateau. It is the second map in our first best of 3 today between two Protoss players. And the Slayer player, he starts to the top right of the map. His ID is
Slayers, Genius.
Genius down the map already. He lost to Squirtle on Daybreak. His opponent starting for the Startail team, positioned at the bottom left in the blue. He is
Startail, Quarter.
Squirtle. You know, the Red Bulls and Red Bull fight each other for some reason. Oh, look at that sign.
That was actually well drawn.
Yeah.
I'm always so sad when I see something that is like kind of well drawn. That's not even that hard, I think, if you have like something that you can, if you have like a picture in front of you. But I couldn't even do that.
No, I can't do that.
I'm so bad.
I'm so bad, man. I remember when I was a kid, I tried to draw a Pokemon, actually. And I remember the only Pokemon I could draw was like Coughing. You remember Coughing, right? The poison Pokemon?
No, we had different names for
those.
those.
That's right. Well, it's a poison Pokemon that eventually, it's like a ball, and then it evolves into 2 balls, basically, and it has self-destruct. Anyway, that was the only Pokemon I could draw, but it looked terrible. It looked like a lopsided, like, asteroid or something.
Yeah, I was horrible in drawing as well. I usually went off, if you had like something we had to do at school, I went for some pseudo-creative thingy, and I interpreted all like a bunch of weird stuff into it. And my teachers were like, yeah, that's actually so cool. You're so creative about this. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm just trying to come up with something.
That's what I did too, man. That's like the kind of strategy I
always worked, though.
You just take a bunch of magazine clippings or newspapers and glue them on a paper or something. They think that's so smart, man.
Exactly. You just have to come up with a meaning.
Yeah, exactly. You have some sort of theme. It's like you just pick a bunch of red and you put it on the thing and they're like, ah, everything's red.
That's a rose.
Yeah. Well, this is similar builders again, but Genius once more going for the Zealot first, and Squirtle actually getting the Zealot this time as well. Both of them going into Sentry afterwards.
Yeah, so this is one of the maps, I talked about it a little bit earlier, where you have the second ramp and the low ground, so it's really easy to take your expansion. One of the go-to strategies on Shakura's Plateau. It's basically the same thing that every race does or can do. It's an option that you have because it's so safe. But we have actually immediately Genius with the Stargate.
Oh, wow.
Both of them. This is actually something that I wanted to talk about earlier. Genius is known for the strategy, and we've seen him do in the first round of the WCS when he was up against, I think it was Dreamer TT, against a Terran player. And he really loves the Stargate play, and this is a build that I've seen several times on this map. One of the players that will always go for some kind of, or very often for a Stargate All-in is actually Elfie. But I thought, well, Genius, no, today he's not going to go for the Stargate, so I didn't even mention it, and look, there it is for both of them.
Yeah, and when this happens with both players, the Phoenix count becomes so important. Having one more Phoenix than your opponent can actually change the entirety of the game. And I'm sure you guys have seen this before, Phoenix versus Phoenix battles can be quite crazy because once the battle starts, it does not stop because there's moving shots. So if you have less Phoenixes than your opponent and the battle starts, you lose, and you lose the game.
And they started. The Phoenix production is right now going on. And let's see how many they are actually getting. Who's getting more Phoenixes?
Who's getting more? Who's hiding them? Who's scouting with them? If he scouts with it, is he going to add a second Stargate? They're both hiding. Oh, this is going to be a crazy game. They're both of them completely in the dark about what the other is doing.
This is definitely going to be a pretty cool match now. And the first one was already very interesting to watch, especially with the timing for the DTs that we saw by Squirtle. But right now, what's the count on the Phoenixes? Both of them with 2. And Squirtle is playing it a little bit more passive at this point, whereas Genius is already moving across the map with his. And this will already result in Genius having only 2 of those Phoenixes ready, whereas Squirtle will have 3 at the battle.
Yeah, this is going to be a good advantage for him. He may go for some probes here. At least he's going to maybe get 1. And he's going to regret it. Oh, this is the problem. The battle begins. These Phoenixes cannot really escape. Nice, Micro. Oh, he still loses it, but either way, this is what I'm talking about. If the battle begins, it does not end.
Exactly, yeah, but well done. Squirtle tries to get one of those Phoenixes to the back. He actually did a really decent job, but a little bit too late, and the shot still gets off. So Genius with 1 Phoenix killed, but Squirtle definitely got the better end of this fight.
And now this is kind of a funny game because Squirtle's like, well, I can't attack him because the same thing will happen to me. He gets a Nexus a little bit faster, and the robotics facility is actually up for Squirtle, if I'm not mistaken. I believe he started one. Maybe he canceled that. Yeah, he definitely started one, but he doesn't have it anymore. And Genius, on the other hand, going up to 4 gateways, looks like he wants to do a heavy attack here. He's not going to be trying to secure a Nexus. This is something that Squirtle actually scouts with this probe right now as well.
And this can be so scary because if you have your sentries in a good position, you can force field the ramp. Of course, what Genius can do, he might not be able to take down his opponent's Phoenix count, but at the same time, if he just swoops in and takes the sentries away, then he has opened the door for every Stalker that he has in his composition. Right now, there's only one though. He has 4 Phoenixes, so does Squirtle, and both of them are still continuing the Phoenix production, trying to get ahead here in the unit count.
Yeah, and I'm wondering now what... Oh, Genius is actually just going to expand. Does he not know? Oh, he doesn't know that Squirtle's expansion so much earlier. This is such an unfortunate position for him. And it's not even really bad luck. It's just he didn't check. And now, I mean, how could he check with that many Phoenixes on the map? Any scout he tries to send will be denied. But this is just him almost accepting defeat, but he doesn't know how behind he is. You know, I thought he was going to go for a bigger attack with all the gateways he added.
Yeah, me too, but it also depends now on how many probes actually Squirtle builds. Does he really commit to his economy at this point, or is he a bit too cautious and gives Genius the chance to catch up? The position for him is actually awesome now, of course. And Squirtle is going for the Twilight Counselor as well, but he spotted his opponent expansion. He knows that Genius tries to expand, he knows about the timing, and he knows now that he is ahead.
Yeah, he's going to be feeling great here now.
And this is exactly the thing that Genius didn't do. Genius didn't scout, so he doesn't know about the situation at all. But Squirtle, with those information that he has, is in a perfect position. Can even deny one of the probes scouting, takes down another Zealot. He controls the map at this point, and Genius is completely in the dark. Great position for Squirtle to be in.
Yeah, he will never be able to scout. He has no idea. And now Squirtle will be adding his gateways, powering things up. He's already got Blink on the way, which is going to be so important in this type of battle.
Harvester count is, of course, now in favor of Squirtle. You can currently see the income, and this basically tells the tale at this point. Squirtle is in a great position when it comes down to his economy, therefore he can just support all these gateways. He can continue his Phoenix production as well if he wants to. Gets the Blink, which will help him a lot later on. So this is a great position. Genius definitely needs kind of a win now.
Yeah, just looking at the mineral patches, Squirtle's actually mined about 600 to 700 more minerals than Genius already. It just goes to show like how fast that Nexus, when it's saturated, will actually mine. Not to forget about the gas that he got there as well. And he's just going to be able to power up so much faster. Genius
is really committing to the Phoenixes now, whereas Squirtle, on the other hand, he stopped producing them. Genius will be on 11 in just a few seconds. Squirtle has 7 and is building a lot more Stalkers at this point. He has 8 Stalkers already. His Blink is nearly done.
Yeah, Genius, if he wins the Phoenix battle away from the Stalkers, then he can use his Phoenixes to pick things up. But this is not something that Squirtle is going to allow. He's keeping his Phoenixes very carefully together here.
Trying to have a quick look at the ramp, immediately baiting out a Guardian Shield here, but of course not committing.
He knows now that he is behind in Phoenix, as Squirtle does. And here we go, we're going to fight. Guardian Shield is still up, and he has Blink. He's going to pick up the sentries.
He takes the sentries down immediately. Of course, the Phoenixes are going to die, but the ground micro, that's what it comes down to at this point. The Stalker count right now is 13 to 1, and those Stalkers of Squirtle with the Blink micro that he has, they are sure doing damage. Those Phoenixes don't stand a chance at this point anymore.
Yeah, even with all the lifts he has, there's just too many Stalkers left on the ground. He may want to wait for a second, though. I think this may be a bit overzealous, actually, trying to come up the ramp here.
Yeah, waiting for the next swap in might have been the better choice here, but I think he has enough units to bully his way through anyways.
Yeah.
Taking down most of those Phoenixes, but he has to wait for the next swap in. There it is.
And this is freeing another one of his Stalkers. The next warp in comes. The Phoenix is now starting to die, and Genius looks like he is going to fall 2-0 down to the loser bracket here.
It certainly looks like it. Another Phoenix dies. Now he's only one left. The offensive Blink going in, and immediately the focus on every single surviving Stalker for Genius. Now Squirtle in the position where he can take down the expansion, and Genius GG's.